Hello, everybody, and welcome. You know what time it is? That's right, SendOwl. It is time for the Digital Hustle Podcast. This is the show where we usually interview successful digital entrepreneurs who are making waves on the internet with their online businesses. But today we're going to do things a little bit differently. Isn't that right, SendOwl? And get used to the hoots, folks, because SendOwl is joining me today for longer than usual. And you know why that is? That's because today is our celebratory podcast. SendOwl has just crossed $250 million. That's right, folks. $250 million worth of sales transacted through our platform. This calls for a celebration, and so we have invited a number of our closest, best friends to come and speak to you today about how they've found success in their business using the SendOwl platform. You know what? And before I interview our first guest, SendOwl, why don't I ask you a few questions today, huh? Okay, good. Yeah, so tell me, you've been delivering digital files for all of our customers for a very long time now, and congratulations, your wings must be very strong because you've delivered $250 million worth of digital product for people that have signed up for the SendOwl platform. And so my first question for you today, SendOwl, is what types of businesses do people own that are using SendOwl to deliver digital files across the internet? Hang on just a minute, SendOwl. I think maybe I should speak on your behalf for these long answers. You know, we've been working together for a while now, but I don't know that all of our audience has gone through the Owl Language 101 course. So, yeah, maybe I'll just pick it up from here. Okay, and feel free to interject at any point. You know, I know this is your spotlight today, so, you know, don't be shy. Don't hold back, but I'll take it from here. Every month when I open up my new customers newsletter, I am blown away by all of the different types of people that are out there using SendOwl to deliver digital files. And we are talking to people today from a number of different countries. Hey, SendOwl, really quick, how many countries do you deliver digital files to right now, by the way? 186 countries. Holy smokes. What's that? Santa Claus. Oh, Santa Claus is your biggest competitor right now. Yeah, there's only one thing though. I think he's giving everything away for free. Or at least that's what they say. Oh yeah, but he's playing more in the physical space, isn't he? Yeah, he doesn't really deliver anything digital. Don't worry, SendOwl. I don't think that Santa Claus is going to cross into your domain anytime soon. All right, well, since I don't wear the chief pontificating officer hat, I will take a step back for a moment and introduce my first guest so that all of you can hear from him. His name is Mark Morris, and he is the founder and director of Introversion Software. Mark's company is over a decade old. What started as just a small team developing indie video games has now turned into a multi-million-dollar organization with Mark's lead. All right, hey Mark, so how are you doing today? You got a big launch, right?
Yeah, really well, thanks, James. We announced our sixth major video game release yesterday, and it was picked up really well by all the major video game sites, so we're really pleased about that. It's called Scanner Somber and drops tomorrow, and so today is slightly quieter for us as long as nothing goes wrong, so it's great to be here and talking to you.
Nice. Yeah, thank you so much. You know, we're really, really excited to have you guys as a customer. We've had a long relationship, and it's just been really, really cool to see the growth of Introversion over, you know, the many, many years that you've been in business. Before I jump into your selling and distribution of games, why don't you just tell me a little bit more about Introversion, what you do, what you sell for people that are listening today that may not be familiar with your company yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a video game developer and publisher. which means we handle everything from the very first scratch of a pencil on a notepad regarding an idea for a game, all through the prototyping, concept work, full development and production, and then sales and marketing. And obviously through you guys, that's putting it in the hands of the customers. So we have the entire sort of end-to-end management, which is a little unusual in our industry. It's becoming a bit more common, but certainly in the older days, there was a split between companies that made video games, the developers, and the companies that sold them, the publishers. We've been going now for about 15 years. Our first game was Uplink in 2001, which is all about computer hacking. I won't list all the games, but our biggest success has been a project that we've worked on for about 5 years called Prison Architect, and that's done really well. We've sold over 2 million units of Prison Architect, so we're very happy with that. And as I just mentioned, we are just on the cusp. It's the eve today of our 6th major video game relaunch, so we're kind of in that state of nervous anticipation.
Nice. I actually love Prison Architect. That is like a ridiculously cool game, and I'm really excited to see the one that you're launching. I believe it's tomorrow, right?
That's right. 3 p.m. British summer time, 7 a.m. Pacific, and I don't know what the rest of the time zones are across the world, but yeah, it'll drop. It's called Scanner Sombre. It's very, very different to Prison Architect. It's a game about exploring a cave with nothing but a LiDAR scanner. So if you don't know what LiDAR is, it's the spinny thing on top of driverless cars. Basically, it fires out tiny little dots of laser light and builds a picture of your environment based on these scan points. So think radar. Radar does it with radio waves, but LiDAR does it with light. And the images that you form when using this technology are really quite striking and different. And we decided to make a game using that mechanism.
Brilliant. So for our listeners, that's drops tomorrow as of the time of recording, which means that by the time you hear this, it's going to be available. So get out there, visit Introversion software website and take a look at that, download it, enjoy it. So Mark, tell me, how are you using SendOwl to sell and distribute your games?
Yeah, it's a good question. In the games industry, there is one major, I'm talking PC and Mac now, so we won't worry about consoles, but there's only really one major platform, and that's a platform called Steam. And Steam probably own about 98% of the market globally. There are a couple of other stores. One's called a Humble Bundle or Humble Store, and then another one, Good Old Games. And together, those three really make up the majority of video game sales around the world now. But we have, right from the start, always maintained our own streak of independence and a desire to not have to necessarily conform to any of the constraints placed upon us by a third party. And that was very important in the Prison Architect days, because when we launched Prison Architect, the game wasn't finished. We actually launched a very early version of it. It ended up taking us 5 years to finish the game. But we updated the game every single month, and every month we got more and more customers involved. Now, that mechanism wasn't supported by any of those other platforms, so it was important that we found our own way to be able to sell our games to the customers, and that's where SendOwl, and forgive me, I might call you Digital Delivery App because that's what it was called when I first found SendOwl all those years ago, and it just did perfectly what I wanted to do, which was just to have this really lightweight system, or at least lightweight on the HTML, the customer-facing side of things, so I could do whatever I wanted on my website and just have a little bit of code from SendOwl attached to a few buttons, and I could, and didn't have to worry about the whole cart system. Before that, we were using I can't remember the name of it now. OsCommerce, that's it. We're using OsCommerce, which is a horrific old open source PHP thing. And I never had any confidence that thing was working properly, was taking credit cards correctly, was not distributing free builds. We'd customized that over the years as well. So I think that project is still running, and I'm not disparaging them. If that's the right solution for you, using a vanilla install might make sense. But for us, it was definitely this kind of headache of legacy software, no confidence in it, very difficult to debug because of the additions and things that we'd put on, impossible to upgrade for the same reasons. And we just wanted to have that lightweight plug and play solution, and that's what we found with SendOwl. And we just continue. So Scanner Somber will be available on Steam and Humble and GOG, but also we'll be retailing it from our store, and we'll do a reasonable number, I hope. And it's much easier for us to track traffic and conversions and do all those other good things, all that other e-commerce work via our store. So that's the motivation for us, maintaining that own direct route.
How has your experience so far been with SendOwl as a company?
Oh, really good. Yeah, really good. I mean, I'm not quite sure how big you guys are now, but I remember back, I think it was just George Palmer who started it off. And when we first went live with Prison Architect, the number of sales was just unbelievable. We were doing tens of thousands a day, and DDA at that point, or SendOwl at that point, wasn't quite scaling as well as it should. And George was basically, I had a Skype line directly through to him to provide that tech support to get everything up and keep it running. And over the years, as you guys have grown, I'm pleased to say that the customer support is just as good as it always was. You know, getting replies to emails within a few minutes. And when you're in our business and you're about to launch a game and things are going to go out to the press worldwide, I kind of need that level of response, right? Because if something's gone wrong with my configuration, or something's gone wrong at your end, I could be getting, within the first sort of hour or so of launch, hundreds of thousands of hits to the website. So I need it to be up and running. So the customer support has always been fantastic, and also just the constant drip of new features. You know, fairly regularly I get an email saying this is now available, that's now available. All of which is most of it is useful for us and things that I've either asked for or have thought about asking for. So yeah, I'm really pleased with you guys.
This podcast, we're actually celebrating our quarter of a billion sales executed through SendOwl, and it's because of great customers like you that have helped us get to this point. So it's been a great ride so far.
Yeah, well, James, I mean that number is just mind blowing, and I'm so pleased because, and you talk about me sort of choosing to trust and support you. It's more the other way around. You know, nobody else that I could find was doing what you guys were doing. You know, you sort of just fitted the need perfectly. So that's all on you. And then when we decided to take the plunge and give it a crack, everything worked. The support was there. So trust is earned, you know. So it was never really us. I don't think you guys have ever had any chances from us or anything like that. It's always just been providing the service and doing it really well. And certainly in the early days, one of the things that worried me a bit was, you know, I knew you're quite small, and I was worried, are these guys going to carry on? You know, is this going to be a sustainable business model for them? And I really hope that it is, because there aren't really any other services that match SendOwl. So the fact that you've just gone from strength to strength to strength is really good news.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. Well, Mark, thank you very much for joining us and giving us some thoughts today. I know you got a big launch tomorrow, so I'll let you go ahead and get back to all of that. Best of luck and enjoy.
Cheers, James. Been good talking to you.
There you have it, folks. Mark Morris from Introversion Software. And without any delay, let's jump right into our next one. I have with me Wedge Black. He is a consultant with Clearbox Consulting. Wedge's company actually plays in the IT space. And you may not think of an IT company as a typical candidate for selling digital products online, but Wedge's company has completely shattered that perception. All right, Wedge, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, I work at Clearbox Consulting, and we're in the UK, and we're a business consultancy firm. And we specifically help organizations with their intranets and their digital workplace.
Interesting. So what kind of services do you offer for the internet and digital?
So it's mostly about working out the business requirements and the strategy for their intranet and their internal systems, but also doing all the employee research so that we can get the user experience right for whatever platforms they're using within the enterprise.
Okay, great. And what kind of platforms are your clients using?
Well, inevitably, there's a great deal of SharePoint use. And of course, Microsoft have done ever so well with Office 365 because that brings SharePoint in the cloud, SharePoint online to many businesses for the first time. But we're also happy to use any sort of software that can help build an intranet, and that includes open source software or any of the off-the-shelf ready-to-go intranet packages that you can purchase. We'll help an organization work out what product to use for their employee engagement and internal comms, and we'll help them deploy and design it so that it works well for their needs.
Okay, great. So do you consider yourself an information technology company?
Yes, I suppose so. Information management is at the core of what we do. You know, we're talking about people, but we're also talking about content, communications, collaboration, and business processes. But yes, information and communication technology is what we help companies do. We're business consultants, though, so we focus on the end results that are required rather than the actual technology.
Very nice, very nice. And so how do you use SendOwl within your business? This is a very different kind of unique business to be using a digital delivery application. So I'm very curious to know in your company how you're using SendOwl today.
Well, yes. I mean, we're a business-to-business company, so we help other businesses with their work. But we get a lot of traffic to our website, and we work really hard on our content marketing. We just call it blogging. We like to share our expertise and share our opinion. And so although what we do is physical and real life, because we go into clients' offices and we work out what they want from their information technology, we also find that what we do online with our website is really important, and it builds our credibility up with our potential clients. So although we're business to business, what we write and how we deliver our expertise online is really important. Part of that has been advising people or helping organizations work out what products to buy for their intranet development. So right now, there's a lot of opportunity to develop SharePoint intranets using off-the-shelf or ready-to-go products from a variety of vendors around the world. And so we have put together a report, an ebook, if you like. It's a very long PDF detailing our 26 assessments of the various products that are out there that can help any organization transform SharePoint into a decent intranet. And it's this report, 250 pages, 26 reviews. It's taken thousands of people hours to put together because we feel that the reviews are valid and robust. And so we're selling that. And, it's not a consumer product. It's not something you'll purchase for $12.99 and take home. It's not a reading book. It's a proper report that businesses should get hold of. And so we turn to SendOwl to help us deliver that to people in a secure manner.
Right. Well, that sounds extremely complex. Clearly, you've put a lot of work into it. What are you pricing that at? Just curious.
I think it's £400, but we are selling it in dollars because of the global market for this sort of thing.
We were talking offline just before I started recording, and you mentioned to me that within a very short period of time, getting SendOwl on your site and listing this, you actually started generating your first sales. Is that right?
Yes. While we worked for weeks on the actual report, it was only once the report was beautifully formatted that we were ready to look for a proper e-commerce solution. And we reviewed SendOwl along with other things. And once we signed up to SendOwl, we immediately got it onto our website and we were making sales within days.
Awesome. So how has your experience with SendOwl been so far?
Well, the integration is really nice. I have to tell you, we started out with the PayPal integration, but PayPal isn't great for businesses around the world. It's great for the UK because PayPal allow you to pay with a credit card in the UK, but that's not always true in every country around the world. So we continue to use SendOwl, but we use the Stripe integration instead. So we were really pleased to have a choice of payment gateways there. And Stripe is really easy for companies who don't want to think about their PayPal identities. They just want to use a credit card and get that done. So with the security of SendOwl and the ease of Stripe, we have a payment system that works really well for our customers. And also we love the automation that SendOwl provides, because it's, we're selling this report 24 hours a day. I'm not personally involved unless someone comes back to me with a query, which is great for contact. So it's all automated, and that's why we appreciate SendOwl.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for using our product and being a customer of SendOwl. We're glad that we're able to help you go out and deliver those sales, and really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's working really well for us, James. We're really glad to have been able to do something like this. We're a physical consultancy in the UK. We travel around Europe, but to do something that's directly creating revenue for us online is a new venture for us, and we're really pleased that it's been so successful.
So last question, Wedge. If people want to learn more about your company and access this report that you're talking about, or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Oh gosh, they can go directly to clearbox.co.uk, and the report is right there on the homepage. It's a major part of our website right now, and they're welcome to tweet us, of course. Just message us on @Clearbox.
Awesome. Okay, great. Hey, Wedge, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll talk to you.
Thanks for having me, James. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right, SendOwl. He did say 400 pounds is what he's selling his digital product at, which, yeah, you're right. I mean, that kind of shatters the expectation of what you can sell a digital good for online. No more $12.99. You can go all the way to 400 pounds if you really want to. Our next guest is Amy Lynn Andrews. Amy has been on the show before. You might have recognized her from episode number 8. She runs the go-to resource online for those who want to get started with creating revenue with their blog. Let's get into it with Amy.
Sure. Okay. I started blogging in 2004, so I've been doing this quite a while. I actually just hobby blogged for many years, and then in 2010 decided to make a go at generating income through my blog. So since 2010, I have been doing that, and now I've gotten so many questions along the way from people, how I started blogging, how I set up WordPress, how I've done all the things that I've been doing over the years. And so my site now is really teaching others how to start their own blog, how to make money online, building an email list, and that sort of thing.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit more about your creations and your services, what you call the notebook. What exactly is that? What's inside?
Okay, so after being in the blogging space for 13 plus years and experiencing frustration in it myself and fielding all the questions that I get via email, I think that people who are interested in starting a blog or starting an online business from a blog, generally there are 3 problems. The first one is they don't know what information online is trustworthy, right? The other one is they're not sure what information is accurate. This happens a lot, and especially in this, the information about starting a blog. It's like, okay, I'm reading a post from 2014 about how to be, Facebook tips. Is this the best? Is this up to date? We have sort of this idea and this knowledge that things change really quickly online, but it's hard to know if I'm reading a post and, hey, it says right on that post, that I should do X, Y, and Z. Well, then I read a post over here and it's telling me to do the opposite thing. Like, why? Well, the reason is because that post was written 2 years ago. Now things have changed and this is the way you do it now. Right? Sure. So the information, who knows if it's trustworthy? The second thing is, who knows if it's actually accurate? And then the third thing is who has time to sift through it all, right? Of course. It's like a fire hose when you're just starting. So that's why I created the notebook. My thought behind it was, there are all these people who want to start online, and my website really is aimed at getting somebody started. But then I kept getting questions. Okay, I followed your steps. I've got my blog. I've been blogging for a while. I think I'm in a good rhythm. But how do I then, make the leap into kind of the next thing? And so really the notebook is aimed at helping people, not just, it goes beyond blogging, and it helps people think about their blogs as springboards for other things. It is very straightforward. It's like you go in, you get what you need, you come out. It's not, there's not a lot of fluff around it at all. So I try to keep it updated, and I personally hand curate it all. So it's for me. If it's in there, it's because I wrote it. It's not because, somebody else did. So I'm super picky about the things that I want to pass on and what I don't. So that is basically what the notebook is and what's in it. I mean, I found SendOwl on my own, and I'm a paying customer, but I like SendOwl. So then people say, "Hey, Amy, how are you selling the notebook?" And I'll say, "Well, I use SendOwl for that." And it's important to me to make sure that I recommend products that I personally know as a customer, instead of products that somebody just emails me and is like, "Hey, this product does this. Will you write about it and tell others?" You can be an affiliate. So those are the main things that I do to generate income from my blog. You can use SendOwl to sell your digital products as well. I think you got. I mean, I think I've tried every. No, that's an exaggeration. I have not tried every application or service online, but I've tried a lot. So, I really like SendOwl. You guys make it easy. It's straightforward. I don't have to house any of that on my site. Like, I am anti-plugin. Like, that's not my style. I don't like to do it because I get nervous having all of that information, being responsible for all of it and stuff. So to be able to send it to SendOwl is great. And you guys make it easy. Like, why can't things be easy? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I think when George started the company, that was the same thing he was thinking, right? And if you know a little bit about his history, I'm sure that I don't know if you've talked to. I'm not sure how close you are with George, or if you've had many conversations with him. But he was initially writing his own ebook, and he was looking for something to do what SendOwl now does, and he just, I guess, decided to build it. So
yeah,
well, thanks for the feedback.
That's great. Yeah, no, it's great. You guys do a good job. I think I've gone back and forth with him a few times on SendOwl, but yeah, I'm constantly looking for solutions that are simple, because it's so easy for, I think, a service like a SaaS service to start, and then they get, somebody wants this option and they want to be able to do this and this and this, and pretty soon, not too much time goes by, and it's so complicated, like the Infusionsoft of the world. Nothing against Infusionsoft, sure, but oh my goodness, it makes my head spin, especially when you're just a super small business. I mean, it's just me. So being able to, do things quickly and streamlined is key. So anyway, all that to say, yeah, I really like SendOwl.
And we really like Amy Lynn Andrews. You can check out the notebook at amylynnandrews.com. My next guest is Amira Rahim. Amira is a painter, and she is an internationally recognized artist. She has showcased her artwork all the way from the United States to the United Arab Emirates. And people, you have to go to amirarahim.com and see the artwork that she does. It's absolutely gorgeous. And she has chosen SendOwl as her digital delivery platform to sell digital prints of her artwork online. Amira, let's start off by telling our listeners just a little bit more about your business. Welcome.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me, James. I am a full-time artist, and I'm an abstract painter. So what that means is I create colorful, vibrant, soulful paintings, and I've been selling my work online for the past 3 years now. And yeah, primarily what I do is deliver physical products to my audience. So this would be private collectors internationally and also in the United States. And more recently, I started experimenting with digital downloads and figuring out new ways that I could share my art with people without having to ship them paintings. As we all know, that could be like shipping anything is usually not the funnest part, but shipping art is particularly challenging because it is such a fragile item. So yeah, I recently switched from Squarespace to Shopify the end of 2016, and SendOwl is one of the apps that I've been sort of experimenting with, and I'm really happy with the results so far.
Okay, so quick story. I know how difficult it is for painters who are trying to ship their products internationally. You know why? Because one time I was on the buying side of that, and I ordered a painting from a guy in Tunisia.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, Amira, I tried to pay this guy for 2 months. It was like impossible because of all of the issues with his telephone number and his bank and all of these things. I tried to send money through Western Union. I mean, everything I tried to do, and it was like impossible to get this guy paid for the product that he wanted to ship to me. It was just crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So you said that you've been using SendOwl since last year. Tell me, exactly how are you using SendOwl to sell your product?
So I knew that I wanted to start offering digital downloads of my art, and I basically just went to the App Store and searched for an app that could do that function, and I found you guys. And pretty much what I use it for at the moment, I create sort of scaled down, cropped images of my work. So I don't put like a full, really high resolution painting up. I just scale it down or size it down to the parameters that I prefer. So at the moment, I'm only offering 8x10 downloads, and because I license a lot of my artwork, it just kind of helps me manage sort of like my licensing side of my business, and keeping that sort of really premium and high resolution, and then offering the digital downloads really is like a bite-sized way for people to collect my work. And then it also allows them to use it in different formats. So they could print it for greeting cards or hang it on their wall. People get really creative. I just got a request for someone basically asking if they could print it on a shower curtain. So it's like you never know how people intend to use it. But what I like about SendOwl is that I'm able to sync my products using the app with my store, my Shopify store, and it just takes a couple seconds. It's so easy, and I'm not really tech savvy, especially with like new type of technology. A lot of times I just kind of have like this artist brain, and it's like I don't want to learn new things, but it was surprisingly easy to figure out how to use, because I think just the way they sync automatically with the products that you have in your shop, I was just able to type the information in and it automatically updates the price, which is important because I use my digital downloads, I guess what you would consider like a lead magnet. So I allow them to purchase the download for free just to kind of get them used to buying from my shop and get them feeling like a customer, even though they're not really buying anything. And I have some other applications that I use, which has sort of like email follow-ups and things like that. So it's a nice way for me to basically market myself without feeling like, hey, I need your money now. It's more of like the long term. And so SendOwl allows me to create really lead magnets for my work. And that's something that I probably wouldn't have done if it was kind of propositioned to me that way. Like, you need to create a lead magnet. And I probably wouldn't have done it that way. So I like the fact that it's just like I eventually did it, but it was like in a roundabout way. And then the other side, because I do so much like trainings, and I like to share a lot of my process and like the business side of things for other artists that are just starting out. I also use SendOwl to deliver e-trainings and courses and any resources that I want to send out to artists, so they can purchase like a video from me, and then with SendOwl I could just give them a URL that will automatically be sent to their email address once they purchase the course, or I could deliver like a PDF or a file. So I really like the flexibility for it that it offers, and I'm still just kind of getting started. I see like you guys have this ability to do like a bundle type of thing, and I haven't done any bundles yet, so I'm excited to try that as well.
Yes, well, I am sure that you are going to be doing that soon also. You know, you told me before we started this call that you don't consider yourself much of a marketer, but I think you really have some marketing thing inside of you. I went to your website for the first time probably a month ago, I guess, and you have been following me around everywhere on Facebook with retargeting. Very, very sneaky, very sneaky. So like I said, I really, really like what you do. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at your Instagram right now, Amira Rahim Art, and I am officially following you in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Amira, one last question for you. If people want to learn more about you, see your artwork, or get in touch, how can they do that?
Yeah, so you can find me on my website at www.amirarahim.com and also on Instagram at Amira Rahim Art.
Amira, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thanks for supporting us as we support you. Really appreciate it. And congratulations on your success. I'll chat with you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys for making such a great app. I really love it.
Moving on to our next guest, you'll recognize Dan Comerchero from episode 3 of the Digital Hustle podcast. He was actually our first guest. Dan is the founder of the Pro Audio Files. The Pro Audio Files is a niche online community for music composers and people around the world who are experimenting with digital mixing and producing. Dan's business has been around for years now, and he uses SendOwl to deliver membership subscriptions to his website. Welcome, Dan. Tell us a little bit more about your business.
Yeah, so it's basically a website and community that teaches people how to mix, record, produce, master music. And, you know, it's like 600 free articles, 600 free YouTube videos right now. And then we also sell more in-depth training courses that people can download, purchase and download. And we have a membership site with a community there. And it's like a streaming platform for those in-depth courses. So we're basically just, teaching people how to mix and record and produce their music. You know, it's like the landscape has changed so much since we started it even 7 years ago, that it reaches a lot of people. You know, it's like a lot of musicians are looking to record their own material now. We also have professional audio engineers that are just looking to take their, mixes to the next level. Producers looking to kind of dabble in mixing. There's a lot of different angles to it. But yeah, we have about 10 different contributors that put out articles and videos, and I kind of keep the train going.
Who is Pro Audio Files for? Like, who uses it? And if somebody wanted to sign up, like, who are the people that would be most interested in signing up for this service that you have?
You know, I think like our primary core are basically kind of beginner and intermediate audio engineers who kind of have home studios and they're looking to take on more clients and mix other people's music. But again, there's so much crossover because a lot of those people will also be producing their own music. So, and learning how to mix and all that and record helps that as well. But, you know, like I said, we also have a lot of just producers, like electronic producers kind of looking to mix their own stuff a little bit more. A lot of just even musicians that kind of just want to learn more about mixing and recording. And again, you know, it's all the contributors kind of have their different angles. So it's like, we have people coming to the site to check out Mark's articles on like, you know, how to get a great guitar tone in a small apartment, you know, things like that, where that could be for a guitarist and that's fine. And maybe down the road, that person's interested in getting more into mixing and recording. But I try to like simultaneously cover a lot of ground within music, but also stay focused on the mixing, recording, producing, mastering thing, because you know, I don't want to have too many articles on the site where it's like, you know, how do you play guitar, or like how do you like play drums? You know, it's like I think it's important to kind of stay somewhat focused in a niche, because you know, then you start putting stuff out and it's applying less and less to like your core most engaged audience. So I think it's important to keep that in mind, but also be always expanding it just little by little as well.
Right now, you're selling a subscription service and you're also selling other things. What e-commerce tools are you using right now to sell online?
Yeah, well, I think we live in a great time where, you know, you can quickly build a business, and it doesn't, you can do a lot more things yourself because so many great services exist to kind of help you with that already. But yeah, we use WordPress for for the blog and for the membership site as well. And then all our products we sell on SendOwl, which has been a total blessing.
Cool. Awesome. And what about other people that are a part of your community, right? So you've wrapped in a lot of people that are doing production and recording. Do you have members of your community that are producing their own work and selling that online that you know of?
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like the music industry is really tough. Like it's so hard to make money selling your music, and I think that kind of makes it all the more important to kind of have your hands in a lot of things. And that might be also some of the appeal. To be honest, the reason I switched in college from music performance for drums to music production was because it felt more tangible, more like lucrative in a lot of ways too. And I did end up kind of, I had an internship and met this company to build this app and sort of moved more into music technology. So I think it's important to have your hand in a lot of different things, which is a roundabout way of kind of saying that a lot of the guys that are and girls that are visiting our site are running their own studios, and they're using the pro audio files to kind of improve their knowledge. And maybe they were going to go to college for audio, but they don't need to anymore. And that's one of the beautiful things. And to be honest, like almost a secret mission of my site is that I want people, you can purchase the complete bundle from Matthew Weiss of like 20 awesome courses for $350, versus how much you pay for school. Not only that, but you can get access to them if you join the membership site. You can ask them questions. You can, it's like the accessibility of knowledge is insane now, even with our free content. If you're reading our articles and videos all the time, like you can go from being someone who's like, oh, I want to have a home studio and mix other people's music for money to actually doing that within a few years. I mean, of course, it takes a lot of practice and things like that. But as far as like obtaining the knowledge, like it's very much out there,
That's great advice. Tell me about your experience with SendOwl since you are a SendOwl customer. What's that been like for you?
Man, I love SendOwl. I switched to SendOwl from the first e-commerce platform we used, which I won't name.
Okay.
But once I got to SendOwl, I was so relieved. It's just like the good design and minimalism of it, and I just really appreciate that. Like it's a very thoughtful UI. The features are very deliberate. And to be honest, I basically switched, I think, everyone over that had an audio website to SendOwl so that for their affiliate program, I could just use SendOwl for everything. Because I was like, I don't want to use any others. So I actually did switch like a bunch of other sites onto SendOwl, because what happened is like, and kudos to you guys for building this, is like all these other audio sites became affiliates for us on SendOwl, and the affiliate side of SendOwl has a great experience that like mirrors the look of it as a publisher too. So a lot of them just got a taste for it from that, and they already had a SendOwl account, and so they knew what was up with it, and they kind of started selling their own products on SendOwl.
Nice.
But I just appreciate the thoughtfulness that you guys put into it, and also I think it's really cool that that George, the founder, does customer service as well. And you get messages from him. I think that's really cool because it's not easy, because I do customer service as well for the business, and it's just like, I think it gives you a good pulse of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like you're really tapped in on the ground level of things, but it can be tough, man, because you're just constantly getting feedback on your business and like, dealing with, things that you might not want to or whatever. But just kudos to him for sure. I get a lot of, whenever I write in on some random thing that I have a question on, it's great to get a response from the person who kind of started it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We have a customer service team, but he's also really highly involved in that, which is really cool. So that's awesome, man. That's so cool. And I'm just so happy for you, Dan, that you've started a great business. And, it started, shoot, man, it's been 7 years now. And you're just cranking away. And it's so cool to talk to you and hear about all the stuff that you've been doing and really making waves in the online space. I really appreciate you coming. Why don't you tell everybody that's listening where they can find more information about your business or more information about you, and how to get in touch if they would like to do that?
theproaudiofiles.com. That's pretty much the one place you can go where you'll find everything that we've talked about. And that's about it.
So it's been a few times now that we've heard our founder, George Palmer's name mentioned on today's episode. And Dan was just talking about the service that SendOwl provides. Yes, we do have a customer service team, and we pay very, very close attention to every single question that gets sent in through support. And actually what happens is that at the end of every week, the support team gets together with George, and together they personally review every question that comes through. Many of those questions are responded to by Paul, our support lead, and George also jumps in and responds to a lot of queries as well. It's just a great way to gather extremely valuable feedback about our business and what we can do to continue to serve you better. So now let's go ahead and jump into our last guest of the episode. I'm now pleased to welcome Mark Multin. Mark is the founder of V2G Clarity. V2G stands for Vehicles to Grid, and his business is extremely technical. In a nutshell, Mark is the global expert on the standardization procedures that are necessary to connect an electronic vehicle to the power grid. And Mark has just landed a couple days back in Medellin, Colombia, and he's offered to take some valuable time out of his schedule to speak to us today about how he uses SendOwl. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I've been here since 3 days now, and in a nice city of Medellin. A lot of work to do, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would just embrace life here and learn Spanish and enjoy. So there's just me, and I'm offering mainly consulting services. But since they don't scale, you always change time for money. I needed to change that. So I thought, okay, how could I make more money while I'm traveling and sleeping and all that things? And how can I not, tell the same thing over and over again? I want to spread some kind of basic, in apostrophes, knowledge by setting up an ebook, and people who are interested in a standard can read that book. And those who want to have knowledge above that, they can then come to me and require consulting services. So that was the basic idea.
Very cool. So for everybody that's listening, can you tell us just a little bit more about your business and exactly what your consulting services entail? And also, what is it that you have in your ebook course?
Okay. So to start, well, I'm a computer scientist, and I did my PhD in this area of how can we integrate electric vehicles into the smart grid. Smart grid being all the devices in the electrical grid which can communicate to each other and can be controlled intelligently and so on. And during my PhD, I was diving into a standardization organization because I had to deal with the fact, how can we integrate this electric car, in an energy management system of a smart home? And since we don't want to invent the wheel twice, I joined the standardization initiative called ISO 15118, and over the years I gained extensive knowledge about how this protocol works, and I was forming that standard myself. And back then in 2014, when I finished my PhD at the university, I wanted to offer those consulting services to companies who want to know, how do I implement this technology? But back then the market was not ready. So I joined a startup in the e-mobility business, but this startup, unfortunately, it was a software service startup which taught me a lot about this e-mobility market and this whole domain. But they went bankrupt last year in January. So that was the perfect time for me to say, well, okay, let's be on your own foot, be a freelancer. And I recognized at this time that the industry's interest in this technology is suddenly rising, because there are, for example, federal grants, which are, so the government is basically giving money to invest in this technology. And all the car manufacturers, all the suppliers, all the charging station manufacturers, they suddenly need to know how this technology works. So I set up the website for myself, but I didn't really do a lot of acquisition. In fact, it went the other way around. People came up to me because I was very well known in this domain anyway, because I was having a blog since several years. And they came up to me and say, well, would you be interested in doing a consultancy service for us? So that's the way it started. And finally, my second client, he said, we need some kind of documentation how this standard works. And so I thought, well, wait, okay, so they are going to pay me for a documentation. Why don't I just make this documentation really good from the very beginning, and then I can sell this documentation as an ebook? And I talked about with my client about that idea, and he was fine with it. He was pretty cool about it. He said, as long as you get a free copy, that's okay. And I set up, fortunately, I set up a contract in that way that anything that I am consulting about, which is general information, general about the standard, all these IP rights belong to me. And all the information which is specific to their IT system belongs to them. So the whole ebook I wrote was general knowledge. So it was all belonging to me, so I could market it the way I wanted. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that helped me. So I was basically being paid for writing an ebook, and it lasted like half a year I was writing on it. And so in February I started selling, and I was looking for a platform which enables me to sell it quite easily, because I did not have any experience in selling products online. So there was, I found out about SendOwl, and it had all the features I was looking for. It was like very easy checkout process for a client. I could easily update my product. That was very important for me, because that standard is changing over time, or I might have new ideas for new chapters, or there are some errors in my book. And I want my clients to, or the people who buy this book, to be able to get updates for free. Exactly. So once I upload a new version of this book, all my recent buyers, they get notified by email automatically. So it was a big bonus for me. And yeah, as I said, the checkout process is very easily just 2 or 3 clicks away, and people can buy the product. That's really cool.
Oh, nice. And since you've been using SendOwl so far, how has the experience been? That's you just mentioned all the reasons why you signed up for it. So now that you've been using it for some time, what has your experience been using the product?
Well, I like the user interface. It's very clear to me. And what I also like is, for example, a very easy setup of affiliate marketing programs. Because I tried it out twice already, and it worked pretty good. The VAT MOS report. So when you do business in Germany and you sell products to other companies within Europe, you have to do some pretty complicated tax report in Europe. And this, luckily, is all taken care of. With SendOwl, at least they provide me all the data I need to give to my tax accountant, and he will do the rest for me. So that's another bonus for me, and I like it a lot. And
nice, very cool.
Yeah. And yeah, you get all these weekly reports and monthly reports about your sales by email. So as far as I can tell, and the support as well, I like it a lot. And the price is very fair. I would say like $25 or so per month, or 24 euros. So it's not a transaction-based fee, and so far my transactions are not skyrocketing because it is a premium product, and it's still a harsh market to gain, because the companies are now getting interested, but it's not like, hey, I have a book, I have like 100 sales immediately. It's not like that. But
sure.
But still, I mean, my ebook is I sell it for 450 euros. So, interesting thing. At the beginning, I was thinking, okay, how much could I charge for it? So maybe 80, maybe 90, maybe $100. And I was looking at a very interesting blog post from SendOwl, which had some statistics about how much people charge for their books, or other, for example, for books, and how much they get in sale. And I think I remember it's somewhere between $100 and $160 or euros. This is pretty good range for
that's right,
for having good sales and having a good amount of money charged for it. However, I was staying in Bali for 4 months in a very cool co-working space, and there I met a lot of amazing people. And they really pushed my confidence in setting up or raising my price. And they say, well, you have this unique knowledge and no one else has ever provided that amount of knowledge in the world. So you should really, really get up your price. And I said, yeah, but well, it's just a book and, people are not used to pay so much for a book. And well, in the end, I ended up with that price and it goes well so far. But the thing is, I use a 3-tier pricing model. So I have this book and I also have a video tutorial and I have the third tier, which is the combined product. And the thing is, I don't want the people to just buy the video product, which is placed at 550 euros. I want them to buy the complete product. So it just makes more sense for them to buy the book and the video and get some extra bonuses with my third product, which is valued at 999 euros. And this is the best-selling product I have.
Nice. And I think I saw on your website as well that one of the things that you do to draw people into the sale is that you offer them lifetime updates on everything that you come out with beyond this, right? So they buy the book, and then if some new technology or new piece of information comes out for the book, they get that by email, or how is that delivered?
Exactly. They get it by email. And well, you have this mechanism set up. So when I load up, I upload this new version of my ebook, then I can just click the button, notify all the buyers, or how it's called, and then it's done. They all get an email, and I don't have to do anything about it. That's really cool. And one way to get them interested in my product as well, because it costs a lot after all, is that I provide a free extract from this book. So from every chapter, I give them 2 or 3 pages, and for free. Yeah.
So Mark, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insight today about your business and how you're using SendOwl. If anybody listening to the show wants to get in touch with you or wants to find out some more information about V2G Clarity, how can they do that?
Well, first you can inform yourself on my website, which is v2g-clarity.com, and you can send me an email, marc.mueltin@v2g-clarity.com.
Great. Well, thanks. I'll let you get back to your excitement down there in Colombia.
Yeah, thank you. Well, have a great day, and thanks for having me.
You know, one of the things that I really like about Mark's story is that the ebook that he's created and the course that he's created actually came out of something that one of his clients paid him to create. And he kept the intellectual property, so he was then able to turn it into a product that he could sell on his own. That's just brilliant, in my opinion. For those ambitious folks that are listening, why don't you take a moment and think to yourself, what have I done in the past, maybe even for another client, that I can turn into my own product or membership service online? That could be a great way to get started with a new side business venture. Hey folks, so that's it for our show today. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you came away with some good experiences and insights and ideas for how you can grow your own business. If you liked it, go ahead and give us a subscribe on iTunes or on the SendOwl channel on YouTube. We have some really cool guests that are coming up to speak. I got Matt Farah from The Smoking Tire. If you have seen any reputable car review on the internet, everything from a Chevy up to a Lamborghini, it might have been a video that Matt has created. He is a serious digital hustler, and he'll be speaking with us on an upcoming episode. So give us a subscribe and get ready for his episode coming up soon. You know, I think SendOwl and I are going to call together a few friends and pop open a bottle of champagne. Hey man, we just hit $250 million worth of sales through our platform. That's something that we are very excited about, and we are extremely grateful for all of you listening, supporting us, using our product, and building businesses right alongside with us. Thank you so much. And as always, if you are not currently using SendOwl, you can go to sendowl.com/pod to find out some more information and sign up for your very own 30-day free trial. It's the digital sales and delivery application helping entrepreneurs make waves on the internet selling their digital products and services. And by the way, yes, we also do allow you now to sell physical products for those of you that might be in that space. I wish you all the best in your upcoming ventures. Have a good day, everybody, and as always, happy hustling.